On the go? So are we. Get the IBJ Media app, your all-in-one news source for Indiana business news. Get breaking news alerts, read every story from IBJ, Inside Indiana Business, and the Indiana Lawyer, and listen to your favorite podcasts all in one place. Big news, small screen. Search IBJ Media and download the app today.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Monday, February 23rd, 2026. I'm Abrianna Herron. Ivy Tech Community College is preparing to launch a construction skills training program at its Indianapolis campus with the goal of addressing an ongoing labor need statewide. In partnership with the Lennar Foundation, the philanthropic arm of Miami, Florida-based Lennar Corporation, the one-semester program is designed to give students a pathway to immediate employment in the construction industry. Mark Richards, Dean of the School of Advanced Manufacturing, Engineering, and Applied Sciences at Ivy Tech Indianapolis, says they seek to lower barriers of entry into the industry.
When we integrate education really and in training with employer demand, then students can kind of move right into the field if necessary. Our long-term goal will be to continue with Lennar to build a program and continue to support and train teachers in the construction industry.
The program will launch on March 16th with 2 cohorts offering day and night classes, respectively. They will each have 50 students. Fort Wayne-based Steel Dynamics Incorporated, along with Australian company SGH, are upping their offer to acquire BlueScope Steel, a global steelmaking company also based in Australia. The companies last week announced a revised cash offer valued at $11 billion, a nearly $3 billion increase from the initial offer made in January. If the acquisition goes through, SGH would then sell the BlueScope's North American operations to Steel Dynamics, with SGH retaining all other operations around the world. Steuben County remains in the running for a potential casino as Indiana lawmakers continue revising House Bill 1038, legislation that would relocate casino licensing across the state. But recent changes to the bill remove the option for local referendums, leaving decisions largely in the hands of county commissioners. Steuben County Commissioner Will Howard says the bill now opens bidding to any U.S. casino operator, moves up the application deadline, excludes Marion and Wayne counties, and keeps Allen, DeKalb, and Steuben counties in play. While the removal of a referendum option has raised concern about voter input, Howard pointed to a recently launched website to keep residents informed called SteubenFunWins.com. The website was created by a working group that includes county commissioners, Steuben County tourism, economic development officials, and local business owners. Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand is made possible by the following.
Thanks for listening to this IBJ Media podcast. You're probably going to remember this ad. Do you know why? Podcast advertising works. 85% of listeners recalled hearing an ad during a podcast, and 70% of podcast listeners have acted after hearing an ad. So whether you're looking to be heard across the entire IBJ Media Podcast Network, sponsor one of our shows, or just start with a 30-second ad, IBJ Media can help. Contact advertise@ibj.com to learn more.
A new fiscal analysis shows Northwest Indiana residents could pay millions of dollars a year in new taxes under a proposed stadium deal for the Chicago Bears. Inside Indiana Business's Alex Brown has more.
The Nonpartisan Legislative Services Agency says Senate Bill 27 still includes many unknowns, including the total cost of the project, but it outlines baseline revenue estimates tied to hospitality taxes. The Bears have committed $2 billion toward construction. Legislative leaders say up to $1 billion in public funding could also be involved. Under the proposal, Lake and Porter counties could each adopt a 1% food and beverage tax. If both counties move forward, estimates show the taxes could generate between $12 and $18 million annually, and potentially more if stadium activity boosts local dining. Lake County would also be required to double its hotel tax from 5% to 10%, a move projected to bring in at least $5.4 million a year. In addition, Hammond could implement a 12% admissions tax on most stadium event tickets. That tax alone is estimated to raise about $12 million annually once the stadium begins hosting events. By comparison, the 10% 5% admissions tax in Marion County, which covers venues including Lucas Oil Stadium, generated more than $31 million in fiscal year 2025. The bill creates a Northwest Indiana professional sports development area, allowing certain state and local taxes to be captured to help finance construction and operations. The bill also allows potential revenue from a renegotiation of the Indiana toll road lease in 2026 to be used for transportation and infrastructure projects in several northern Indiana counties connected to the stadium relocation, though the amount of that funding is still unknown. Alex Brown, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
The Marion Redevelopment Commission is offering low-interest loans toward the rehabilitation of underused buildings across the city. The repayable loan program will make up to $1 million available annually, with loans of up to $200,000 per project. The Marion County Community Development Corporation is a partner in the effort. The owner of Tyner Pond Farm in Hancock County says new requirements from the United States Department of Agriculture regarding the labeling of meat products provides clarity for consumers and restores meaning to a label that had lost credibility. In December, the USDA issued updated labeling guidance for the voluntary product of the U.S. labeling standard, which took effect January 1st. Chris Baggett, who acquired Tyner Pond Farm in 2010, told Inside Indiana Business that previously a product could be labeled as a product of the United States if only one step of the process happened here.
But once that American label comes off of all of these products that they're buying, now they can be a little more aware and say, wow, I really want this profile in my nutrition, and they will turn to, hopefully, Indiana farmers.
The new guidance is being applied to products that are regulated by the USDA's Food Safety and Inspection Services. I'm Abriana Herron for Inside Indiana Business Radio on demand.
Curious about what's shaping law in Indiana? From court reforms and NIL rights to mental health courts and energy commissions, the Indiana Lawyer Podcast breaks down the biggest legal issues of our time. I'm your host, reporter Maura Johnson. Join me every other week for your insider guide to what matters in law and why it impacts you. Subscribe now in your favorite podcast app or at ibjpodcasts.com.
The IBJ Media Podcast Network is the soundtrack of a growing state. Indiana is on the move, and you can hear it happening on the IBJ Media Podcast Network. We bring you the voices at the center of our economy, our courts, our companies, and our communities. Subscribe now and be part of the conversation that's building Indiana's future. Find all of our shows by searching IBJ Media in your podcast app or visit ibjpodcasts.com.